I didn't actually go and see my doctor, but I did go and see a trichologist because my mother was worried, so she thought we'd go and see a trichologist. And I went. I didn't tell them that I was pulling my hair out. I just thought, maybe he had a magic cure or something. So I went to see him, and they did not know that I had tricho.
How old were you?
I was about 17, 18.
Yes, and still no knowledge even
Still
then.
no knowledge, and I never spoke about it. I thought I was the only person who ever did it, so I wasn't going to own up and say I'm pulling my hair out, So I went to see the trichologist, and they did not know at all, and they couldn't do anything.
Yes. Anybody else had an experience with a doctor?
I've had some good experiences with doctors.
Excellent.
And some not so good ones.
Interested in both?
When I first went to the doctors, I was about 11, I'd say. My mum took me, and she obviously knew what was happening, so she explained to the doctor, and he didn't know what it was. He said it was traction alopecia, which is of course a different thing, and I was prescribed something to stop making my head itch, but it wasn't itchy, it was just wanted to do it anyway. And I then just refused to go again, and I think she finally dragged me back when I was about 16 maybe, and they'd obviously done some homework and they knew what it was, and they prescribed different kinds of tablets, and some more effective than others, and that was a great help. And then when I was about 19, I went to another doctor, just a GP, a different one, and he was absolutely fantastic, very understanding, willing to discuss what I would like to do about my treatment. Told him about the Lucinda consultancy and what I was having done here, and could I get time off work, this kind of thing. And he said as far as he was concerned it was a private hospital appointment, so he gave me doctor's notes to have time off work to come to London and get my hair done. So he was fantastic.
Did you mentioned that you thought you were the only one?
Absolutely, I was the only person in the world that pulled my hair. I was 13, 14 years old, in the early 70s. We didn't have computers, we didn't have the resources that the internet gives us today to allow us to research these problems. I was absolutely the only person on the planet that did this weird, freaky thing.
And how long did you think like that for?
Probably about 15 years, easily 15 years.
You felt that you were the only
Absolutely,
one.
And it was only by chance, I think it was a magazine article where I saw something which sort of touched on the subject, and I nearly fell off my chair thinking, oh my God, there's someone else out there who's doing this weird, freaky thing as well. And that was a real shock.
Yeah.
Because, spending 15 years is a long time to think you're on your own.
Yeah.
I definitely thought I was on my own, because also going to an all-girls school, everybody else has got beautiful hair. You know how competitive teenage girls are with their hair.
Yes.
Who's got the longest, the thickest, the blondest, the darkest.
The best.
All that sort of thing. And I was definitely the only girl in the whole school who had almost no hair.
So you probably felt you were the only one in the world for a long time. How
I
long?
certainly felt I was the only one in the world. Probably for about, I'd say, at least 20 years, if not longer.
Wow. That's a lot. What about you, Angela?
Well, I never spoke about it at all, and I thought I was the only one.
For how long?
Until 6 years ago, I thought I was the only one that did it. I never spoke about it. It's more than that. It's over 30 years. Over 30 years that I never spoke about it, and I thought I was the only one that did it, and I was the freak.
Oh, wow. What about you, T? You should have a different experience, I hope.
Yes, very much so. I probably thought I was the only girl who pulled out my hair for about, I don't know, maybe a year, or maybe not even that, because my mum saw Lucinda. I think it was on a TV show in the summer holidays. She saw it on a daytime show, and she just said, right, there we go, off we go down there. There are obviously other ladies who do it, we'll get you sorted.